Hello Primary 2 students. In this lesson, we are going to talk about animals and their food. But let's first remember what we talked about in the previous lesson. We learned that animals are living things that have many needs in order to survive. What do animals need in order to live and grow? The animal has to find a safe place to get its food and shelter from. And this place is known as the habitat. So what's the meaning of a habitat? It's a place where the animal lives and gets its food and shelter. Do you think that all the animals live in the same habitat? Of course not. Different animals live in different habitats. And in the previous lesson, we studied some of these habitats, which are the desert, the forest, and the ocean. Each of these habitats have certain conditions which are suitable for only some living things to live in, and maybe these conditions are not suitable for others. For example, the desert is a place with little water. Not all the animals can live with little water, so we can find few animals in the desert. Do you remember an animal that lives in the desert? Yes, the camel is able to live in the desert because it can stay for a long time without food and water. Maybe other animals die in the desert because they cannot find enough food and water for them. We also talked about the forest. The forest is a habitat where we can find lots of trees and many ponds. So there is plenty of food and water in the forest. That's why we can find many animals in the forest. Can you remember any of the animals that lives in the forest? Yes, in the forest we can find the giraffes, the elephants, the monkeys, the lions, and many other animals. The third habitat we talked about was the ocean. The ocean is an aquatic habitat. Aquatic means water. What are the living things you studied that live inside the water? We can find the fish, the sharks, the crocodiles, the octopus, jellyfish, and others. Okay, in this lesson we are going to talk about another thing which is very important for the life of animals. The animals need food in order to survive. Do you think that only animals eat the same kind of food? Look at the picture. Here the giraffe is eating the leaves of the tree. In the other picture you can find wolves which are eating another animal, so they are feeding on meat. From this picture we understand that some animals feed on plants while other animals eat meat. So, different animals eat different kinds of food. In this lesson, we are going to classify the animals according to the type of food they eat. What are the kinds of food that the animals eat? Some animals eat plants, and we mean by plants any parts of the plants, like the leaves, the fruits, or even the seeds of the plants. Other animals do not eat plants, they need meat. They only feed on meat, so they have to kill or hunt other animals to get the food they need. So, we are going to classify the animals into groups according to the type of food they eat. We are going to talk about the herbivore, the carnivore, and the omnivore. What are the herbivore animal? It's an animal that eats plants only, like the rabbit. Can you think of another animal that feeds on plants only? Yes, the giraffe feeds on plants, and also the elephants. What about carnivores? A carnivore is an animal that feeds on meat only. So, the carnivores are wild animals, like the lion. Can you think of another example of carnivore animal? Yes, the tiger and the sharks are carnivores. Okay, the third type of animals are called the omnivores. The omnivores can eat both plants and meat, like the bear. Do you know that the bear likes to eat fish, which is meat? And sometimes the bear eats plants. So the bear is considered as omnivore because it can eat both meat and plants. So again, what are the herbivores? They are animals that eat plants only, like the zebra, the elephant, the giraffe, the cow, and the rabbit. What about the carnivores? As we said, the carnivores are animals that eat other animals or they eat meat only, like the lion, the tiger, the crocodile, the snake, and the shark. The third group is the omnivores. The omnivores can eat both plants and animals, like humans. We all know that we eat plants. We eat fruits and vegetables, which are plants, and sometimes we eat meat and fish. So we are omnivores. Humans are omnivores because they feed on both plants and animals. Also, the bear is an omnivore. As we said, sometimes it eats plants and sometimes it eats meat. Okay, let's have an exercise. Look at the picture and decide whether this animal is a carnivore or a herbivore animal. The lion is eating meat. So is it a carnivore or a herbivore? Carnivores eat meat only. So the lion is a carnivore. What about the crocodile? As you see in the picture, the crocodile is eating fish, which is meat. So is it a carnivore or a herbivore? Carnivore is an animal that eats meat only. So the crocodile is a wild animal that eats meat. It's a carnivore. What about cows? As you see in the picture, the cows are eating grass. Grass are plants. So cows are feeding on plants, so they are considered as herbivores. Also the sheep. The sheep feed on grass, which are plants. So also the sheep are herbivores. What about the elephants? The elephants are feeding on plants too. So also the elephants are herbivores. The bear. As we have just said, the bear sometimes eats plants and sometimes eats meat. So, the bear is an omnivore that eats both plants and meat. Humans. Humans eat fruits and vegetables, which are plants. And also the human eats meat. So, humans are omnivores because they eat both plants and meat. We are omnivores. Another exercise. Look at these pictures and decide they belong to which group according to the type of food they feed on. We have the tiger, the bear, and the rabbit. What does the tiger feed on? The tiger is a wild animal that eats meat. So is it a herbivore or a carnivore or an omnivore? The carnivores are animals that eat meat only, so the tiger is a carnivore. What about the bear? As we said, the bear can eat both meat and plants, so the bear is an omnivore. The last one is the rabbit. We all know that the rabbit likes to eat carrots. Carrots are plants, so the rabbits are herbivores because they eat plants only. So if we match each animal with its group, we know that the tiger is a carnivore, the bear is an omnivore, while the rabbit is a herbivore. Thank you Primary 2 for watching. I hope you understood the lesson well, and goodbye.